If these puppet politicians want to represent billionaires instead of the people, then they should lose their jobs in the people's house.
The federal broadcast of Fox News was interrupted at the most tense moment. Live on air, conservative experts were attempting to defend Donald Trump's policies, but the studio was shaken by sharp and undeniable criticism from Congressman Greg Casar. These puppet politicians serve the interests of billionaires, not the people. If they want to represent corporations instead of citizens, they have no place in Congress, Casar declared. The essence of the conflict lies not only in political viewpoints but in the real economic pain of millions of Americans. In several states, Social Security offices are already shutting down, especially in rural areas. Pensioners, people with disabilities, and other vulnerable populations are forced to travel on their own to reach closed institutions just to undergo verification. Otherwise, they lose their benefits. If they fail to do so in time, they are automatically accused of fraud and left without a penny. This is not just government indifference. This is deliberate cruelty. The initiative led by Trump's Republicans is, quite literally, a declaration of war on the poor. Against this backdrop, many have come to learn, Elon Musk receives more than $8 million a day from the federal budget. Money collected from taxpayers is not going to healthcare or schools, but into the pockets of the richest people on the planet. Musk calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme and supports initiatives to cut it, while he himself receives billions through contracts with NASA, the State Department, and even the Pentagon via his Starlink system. His profits grow while Medicare and Medicaid programs are being slashed. In parallel with the economic pressure on the poor, the Trump administration is expanding an aggressive anti-immigration policy. According to reports from several human rights organizations, hundreds of migrants, including women and members of the LGBT community, have been forcibly deported to camps in El Salvador. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi shamelessly referred to these people as trash and a threat. Under the slogan, "Make America Safe Again," an entire system of state cruelty is being built. This is not border protection. This is a display of absolute contempt for humanism. Congressman Casar refused to remain silent. "Live on Fox News," he declared. "Yes, violence is bad, but denying millions of Americans access to medical care is also a form of violence. It is the deprivation of dignity, life, and stability." His voice sounds especially sharp against the general silence. Casar demands an end to policies that favor billionaires and calls for restoring respect for ordinary people. His rhetoric resonates with millions. Today, in America, the demand for justice and the redistribution of resources is growing stronger. But the brewing storm is not limited to within the United States. Canada has delivered the most powerful economic blow to Washington in recent years. It all began with the U.S. imposing record-high tariffs on a number of Canadian goods. In response, Ottawa introduced retaliatory tariffs, and not just mirrored ones, but strategically calibrated. Canada holds a key position in North America's energy system. It is the largest supplier of oil and gas to the United States. Many American refineries are specifically designed to process heavy Canadian crude oil, and switching suppliers could cause serious disruptions. Canadian authorities have already threatened to restrict supplies if pressure continues, and this poses a threat not only to the economy, but also to the energy security of the United States. Ottawa went even further. A two-phase tariff system. First, 25% on consumer goods amounting to $30 billion, then an additional $125 billion in tariffs, including on automobiles, spare parts, steel, aluminum, and the agricultural sector. This is a threat to key states that supply agricultural products and to the automotive industry, which depends on components from Canada. Electric vehicle manufacturers will be especially affected, as Canada is the source of critically important components, including lithium and cobalt. Within Canada, the support is unprecedented. More than 70% of the population backs the government's measures. Industry is seeking new partners in Europe and Asia. Politicians are publicly declaring their intention to reassess strategic relations with the United States. This marks the beginning of the region's economic transformation from U.S. monopoly to a multipolar trade space. And here is yet another alarming signal. Tesla is losing Europe. In Germany, the largest market in the European Union, Tesla's sales have plummeted by 76% over the course of 2 months. At the same time, the electric vehicle market as a whole grew by 30%. According to a public opinion poll, 94% of Germans do not plan to buy a Tesla at all. The reasons are complex, from Elon Musk's anti-social policies to Tesla's refusal to sign union agreements in Sweden. Protests have swept across Scandinavia, with labor unions blocking deliveries. Tesla is no longer about progress. It is about a clash of values. Investors are fleeing. Pension funds are divesting from Tesla shares for ethical reasons. Musk himself continues to shock with statements, from supporting far-right parties in Germany to mocking the European Union's environmental agenda. Europeans no longer want to engage with a company that openly disregards their values. Meanwhile, at the very center of power in the United States, a new scandal. Messages leaked from a group chat containing specific details of a planned military strike. Timing, types of weapons, attack channels. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated there was no classified information. However, the messages explicitly included data that, according to Pentagon protocols, are considered strategic and must be protected. Surprisingly, a journalist was registered in the chat. Senator Rubio confirmed. This was a mistake. A journalist had no place there. The bigger question is, why was Elon Musk's team brought into the leak investigation? Why did the head of the press service personally apologize and promise that this will never happen again? American democracy is under threat. Renowned actor Robert De Niro stated in an interview, "Trump is dangerous. He is a gangster. He will not relinquish power if he wins." These words went viral. 5 million views, 350,000 mentions in 24 hours. Democracy, the actor warns, becomes an illusion if it is led by people without principles. More than 30 lawsuits against Trump, including charges of fraud and obstruction of justice, only confirm this is not just a politician. This is a moral crisis. This episode is not just a news review. It is a wake-up call. America is changing. The world order is changing. And if we do not begin asking uncomfortable questions, tomorrow may be too late.